This video is brought to you by Devil Man Crybaby Amino. Amino is the one app to go to for all things relating to anime. Ha ha! Hey everybody, how you doing? Tekking101 here, and Netflix has been coming out with some good stuff as of late, you know, like animated stuff in particular. Last year, it was that Castlevania animated thing they came out with. A lot of people really enjoyed that. That's coming back later this year, I know. And today, we're here to discuss Devil Man Crybaby! I finally got around to watching it like a month or so after everyone was talking about it. That's usually how I do things. I don't watch things when it's super popular because I feel like it might influence me a little bit, like into thinking it's better than it really is or something like that. So I usually wait for the hype to die down a little bit. I did the same exact thing with like Attack on Titan and One Punch Man. I didn't really get into those series until well after, you know, everyone was talking about them on social media and all that stuff. So the good folks at Amino reached out to me. Is like, hey, you want to do this video about Devil Man Crybaby? And I'm thinking, yeah, I should probably watch that, because, you know, everyone was talking about it like crazy a few months back, and I'm like, yeah, I should probably, I think this is a good time to check it out. So I went and watched a few episodes. Haven't watched all of them yet, so we're not done with the entire season quite yet. There's 10 episodes, but I did watch the first 3, and then I did a little bit of research just to really understand what it was all about, how this manga has been a big inspiration for a lot of other mangakas over the years. The original story, Devil Man, was in Shonen Jump back in like the 70s or something. So it's a really cool history, and at its core, a relatively simple story about a boy that gets, you know, the powers of a demon, becomes Devil Man, and then fights the powers of like hell. Okay, it's a pretty basic thing. So we're gonna be checking out the Devil Man Crybaby Amino today. So let's just get into that first, and then afterwards I'm gonna discuss a little bit more about Devil Man Crybaby, what I liked about the story, the animation, the characters, and all that stuff, my first impressions and whatnot. And then you can let me know below in the comments what you guys thought about the series as well. Okay, moving into the Devil Man Crybaby app. Here we are. Okay, I just got this recently, as I stated, only into the first few episodes. So let's just check out what's going on here in the featured page. Now, I guess I should bring up that, yes, I understand spoilers are a thing. I've already read, like, what the series is about, and the series has been around since the 70s, so, you know, the plot of it is kind of well known at this point, so I know what's going to happen. I don't know every single character, but, you know, I'm not the kind of person... See, when I see something like this, Devil Knight, I have no idea who Devil Knight is yet in the story, or what this character... I haven't seen a character design like this quite yet, but that doesn't necessarily spoil it for me. That basically just tells me that at some point in the story, this awesome shit's going to go down, okay? And I am excited for that, so I am pumped for Devil Knight whenever he's going to show up at some point. So yeah, this is the feature page, obviously, so just moving through. Like all the other aminos, you have chat rooms, you have quizzes, you have polls you could check out. I don't know if we're going to check out the quizzes. I usually check out the quizzes, but I don't know that much about this series, so let's maybe check out the polls or something else I don't really do here. So, here's some chat rooms, and okay, I figured, I had an assumption just from looking at the first few episodes, and they're kind of dynamic between Akira and Ryo. I was looking at them, and I'm like, oh, there's probably a lot of yaoi fan art with these two, and this app confirms it. You know, whatever, I'm down with it. I'm not one that gets upset whenever you're gonna ship a character with somebody else, or yaoi yuri fan art. You know, I don't get upset by that, because that means right there that the fandom is alive, and that they're posting stuff, and people are having fun, and, you know, you don't have to look into that if you don't have to. But I'm going to go check that out. The Ryo Kira chat. Oh, look at them back there. They just look perfect for each other. The complementary colors there between white and black. That's how you do it. Okay. And they're yeah, okay. That's actually a really good drawing. Like gender bent Ryo. Okay, fine. I'm fine with that. We're down with it. Okay. So, oh, there's a German chat. So, yeah, even chats with different languages. That's something I didn't even mention the last few times I've done that. But yeah, it did occur to me, of course, this is a global app, so why not, right? It makes sense. Pretty cool. Let's go check out, that's a pretty cool artwork there of Akira and Amon. Alright, neat. Let's go check out the polls here. Oh, let me go back here. Check out the polls here. What do we got? Let's say AU types, text dating roleplay, who to draw, I am bored. I love how Akira wins most of these. I mean, look at that, Akira Fudo. He's like, honestly, like, I can only see from the first few episodes, but the end of that first episode, he makes a pretty impactful, display of his abilities and all that stuff. And the second episode cuts right to his fusion with Amon. So it's like, yeah, Akira's pretty awesome. Let's go vote for him. Yeah, how do I vote? I wonder. Or is the vote over? The vote might have already been over. Yeah, 5 days ago. That might have been already upset. Yeah, voting has ended, yes. But 23 days left for this one, Devil Trial 2. Would you guys be hyped for a second Devil Trial this weekend? Yes! Not sure, but yes! Let's go! Favorite minor character, Miki. I already voted for her earlier because she is awesome. I mean, come on. That's pretty cool. And so let's go check out quizzes. I don't know much about the series yet, but let's go check out quizzes to see what we have here. How well do you know Mother Lucy? I don't know Mother Lucy. Name the adaptation. I do know that Devil Man Crybaby is just the recent adaptation of Devil Man. There's been several adaptations throughout the years. I think the anime actually began, like the original anime started like right after the mangaka began the serialization in Jump, which is kind of unheard of nowadays. This would be like if, The Promised Neverland started publication in Jump, and within a month it already had an anime. It's just like that kind of stuff doesn't just happen now. But yeah, I don't know much of the adaptations there. So yeah, I'm not going to check out a lot of the quizzes. But yeah, it's also something I think a big fan base, and it's always cool to see something like that's 40-something years, probably nearing closer to 50 years in the making. People are still discussing it this far into the future since it began. That's some pretty cool stuff. And something else I think I'll just bring up about real fandom, because I know people get in arguments about who's real fans of the series. Like, oh, I was a real fan of Devil Man way back in the 90s, or I was a fan in the 70s. You're a fan if you like the story. That's how simple it is. And this is the app to really go to if you're a fan. It doesn't matter which rendition of Devil Man you're into, if it's Crybaby, it's the original, or if it's like the version in the 90s or whatever. You're a fan of the series, go check out this app. That's really for you right here. I hope you all go and check out the Anime Amino app for Devil Man Crybaby and Anime Amino in general. It's an awesome app. I don't post on there all too often, but I do go in there and check out polls and quizzes and various things. It's very handy just to see what the hullabaloo in the fandom really is, So I wanted to discuss a little bit about my first impressions. Now, last night when I watched the episode, the first episode in particular, I had like a live tweet where I was going through like the episode and tweeting my reactions to it. The beginning of the episode was kind of trippy for me. It was basically just the entire series itself is like, it doesn't do transitions the same way I'm accustomed to. It really just kind of throws stuff at you. Like in the first episode, I think it's like a beginning of Ryo and Akira's childhood, and then like this, it flashes on the screen really quick, like 10 years later, and then they're in high school all of a sudden. And it's like, you really have to kind of get into the groove of that pace. Otherwise, you're going to think it's really sloppily done, and at first, that's the impression I had, like this was just kind of thrown together. But after the first episode, after the second episode, I started getting into the groove of how the transitions are structured. The same kind of impression with the animation. There are certain scenes in the animation that you would look at and you would say they were cutting corners with this animation. This animation is kind of low budget. It's just a unique style, and I think we've all seen different kinds of anime, different kinds of cartoons, animated series in general, that have a style that's kind of just difficult to get into at first. It feels weird when you're jumping from one style to another. You think, oh, this is inferior. Once again, it really shines. These people know what they're doing. There's like probably the shading and certain like shadows and how it's implemented there is really good. There was a scene when Ryo arrives in South America and he's driving a Jeep through the jungle, and something that they think of that I didn't even consider is, in the jungle you have bugs flying everywhere, so there's like bugs, buzzing around the headlights of this Jeep, and it's just like little things like that. And then of course the shadows and stuff, and there's a scene where a character lights himself on fire, and just the way that the flames engulf him, and then the flames like eventually they become his body, like through the animation, and like a demon, a devil arises. It's stuff like that really makes you think they put a lot of thought into how they set up this animation style. But yeah, don't be thrown off by that from the first episode, and you get used to it really quick. Pretty much by the end of the first episode, you'll see what they're going with here. It's sort of trippy. It's sort of like an out-of-body experience at certain points. The last scene of the first episode really just encapsulates that right there, when they're in the nightclub and, Akira becomes Devil Man and Amon comes out, and it's like this massive just bloodbath in this place.
you understand what it really was all building to and how they're really going to structure their scenes of carnage, so to speak. So that's something to also keep an eye out for. I like Akira as a character. I liked him before he became Devilman, and while he's Devilman, he's a little bit more funny after he becomes possessed by a demon, to be honest with you there. So I'm definitely going to enjoy him. Ryo seems psychotic. That was my first impression of him when he shows up and starts whipping out machine guns out of his coat and just starts shooting people up. Like, that's insane. When he starts, like, I think I live tweeted, like, when they're at the bar, it's just like, I think your friend's insane there, you know, Akira. You might want to get out of here. He seems your friend's just a complete psychopath. He does have, a little streak with him where he's, like, manipulating his friend to be possessed by a devil so they can fight other devils without his prior consent or knowledge. That was something that was kind of messed up, but from what you learn later on, I think that makes perfect sense. So yeah, I definitely enjoy it. I'm definitely going to binge watch the rest of this today, and I hope you guys will comment below on what you enjoyed about Devil Man Crybaby, and I hope I understand that it was pretty much taken from the manga, how this adaptation, each adaptation is different in how it adapts, you know, the original work. However, I think this one was something that adapted the manga pretty loyally and finished that up, but you can always do more. And I'm looking forward to maybe going through some other variations of Devilman throughout the years and seeing what this whole franchise was really about, because this franchise really did kind of escape me for a number of years, and I'm looking forward to looking into it. So thanks everybody for watching. Remember to check out the Anime Amino app for all your anime fan base needs, to kind of touch base with the fan base. That should be your slogan. You should do that. Have a great night, everybody. This will be Tekking101 signing out.